Today, we have a proposal from Bernie Sanders that is an area where he really stands out in the Democratic field. It's his plan to get money out of politics. Now, let's set up the conversation. We've been having a practical discussion here on this show for a while now about Bernie versus Warren on accepting corporate and PAC money. Now, both Bernie and Warren have turned it down in primaries. Elizabeth Warren has said she would accept it in the general election, saying she doesn't believe in unilateral disarmament. And if this is the way to win, she thinks we are better off with her accepting that money and winning rather than turning it down and losing and seeing Donald Trump reelected. Bernie has said he would not accept that money in the general election. And this has become a sort of battleground on the issue of campaign finance reform. Now, I want money out of politics, period. I don't have to qualify it in any other way. Money in politics is a toxic and corrosive force. It needs to be done away with. It needs to be removed. It needs to be reformed. And I do believe that it is a conversation to have about whether by unilaterally disarming in the general election, you risk losing the election, and whether it is short-sighted in the sense that by getting into office, if you accept that money in the general, you might then be able to change the system. Now, this is a theoretical conversation. I'm not looking to fight anyone over it. There are reasonable positions to be had on both sides. But I still think that if you win, you have to work to get rid of money in politics and to change and fix campaign finance. I don't know that Elizabeth Warren would do that. But this is a very specific conversation to this election about primarily two candidates. Of the three frontrunners, Biden's certainly not going to do anything about this. The right thing to do is we need money out of politics, and Bernie Sanders has put out an absolutely fantastic plan to do it. Bernie's plan is all-encompassing in that it would restructure money in politics when it comes to parties and conventions and inaugurations, which, by the way, inaugurations for Donald Trump have served as a great way to funnel money for influence peddling, for buying influence. It would restructure public financing of elections, primary debate funding, Congress, everything. So let's look at the details. Number one, Bernie would end corporate contributions to the Democratic convention, period. This is already just a great way to set the tone before you even formally nominate someone. This is absolutely a great thing to be doing. Bernie would end corporate donations to the DNC, period, and to inaugurations, and individual donations to inaugurations would be capped at $500. Excellent. Bernie would make federal elections publicly funded. This is like the big boy, right? This is the real hallmark of any serious plan to get money out of politics and to fix the problems that we have. Bernie would get rid of the Federal Elections Commission and instead would replace it with a federal election administration with a governing body of its own. Bernie also wants a constitutional amendment to overturn Citizens United. That's not unique to Bernie. Bernie wants to end super PACs by legislation. And this is a very interesting component of the plan. Bernie would install a universal small dollar voucher system, which would, quote, give any voting age American the ability to donate to federal candidates. This is empowering people in a way that not only are you democratizing the financing of elections, you are also hopefully, by getting people involved in supporting candidates with money they wouldn't ordinarily even necessarily have to donate, you're making it more likely they're actually going to participate in the system by voting, which is a major problem in this country. Bernie would ban advertising during primary debates, and he would put in place a lifelong lobbying ban on former members of Congress actually doing the thing that Donald Trump claimed he would do but hasn't actually done. These are the big elements. It's not all encompassing. There are a few more. So here's the reality. I always want to just talk about the reality with you and not dance around what it is that's going on. In polling, Elizabeth Warren is surging. She has overtaken Joe Biden in a number of recent polls, and she may soon overtake the lead in the 2020 Democratic primary. Bernie and Warren are sort of fighting for the progressive vote. Either would be the most progressive president that we have ever had. But we can't ignore that on this issue, Bernie is unparalleled in the Democratic primary, period. There's no need to qualify it further. Every time I say something objective about Bernie or Warren, people email me, David, I'm disappointed. I'm going to not watch anymore because, I'm a Bernie guy and you're really going to Warren. Or I'm not going to watch anymore because I'm for Warren and now you're just propping up Bernie. You're a Bernie bro, David. Or I'm angry because you're, trying to hurt Bernie or attacking Warren or whatever. I am communicating the facts. Warren is surging in the polls. Bernie is unparalleled on this issue of money in politics, and this plan is an extraordinarily strong framework. And to quote Donald Trump, I hope that whoever is the next president looks at this very, very strongly, because it is one of the foremost issues. If we want to really fix politics, this has to be at the top of the list, along with, of course, climate change and dealing with systemic and structural wealth and income inequality in this country. We are doing something very exciting over the weekend. We haven't done this for like a year. We are going to be having a one-day membership fund drive, blowing out memberships at a historic discount. If you have been thinking about getting a membership to the David Pakman Show, which is our #1 funding source, of course, get on our mailing list by signing up for the newsletter at davidpakman.com. This weekend, you will get an email. The subject will probably be, I don't know, that I haven't written it yet. That email you've been waiting for, and it will contain a one-day coupon code to get the biggest membership discount of the year. We've got to boost membership. We are ramping up for the 2020 election. We want to be doing a lot of new things once I'm fully recovered from my emergency appendectomy, of course. And membership is the way that we fund all of that. So get on the mailing list at davidpakman.com. Major discount coming up this weekend. And of course, follow me on Twitter at dpakman and follow the show on Twitter at David Pakman Show. I want to tell you about one of our sponsors called the Menlo Club, a men's fashion community that provides carefully curated style packages for any type of guy. And they're giving you, as a David Pakman Show viewer, your first box for $35 off when you click the link underneath this video or go to their site and use the promo code PAKMAN. As a member of the Menlo Club, you receive delivered right to your door a hand-picked apparel package that follows the season's latest trends based on your own unique style profile. I hate shopping for clothes. It's always been a pain to go to a store, figure out what to buy, and that's why the Menlo Club is so perfect for me. All I had to do was fill out a quiz on their website so they could learn my sizes and style preferences, and then I received clothes that perfectly fit my own personal style. So far, I've really enjoyed what they've sent me. All of their clothing is designed by their team in Los Angeles. Each box features items from their own in-house fashion brands, 5-4 Everyday Wear, New Republic Footwear, and Grand AC Athleisure Wear. In every box they send you, you get a minimum of 2 items, often more. Every box is different. Shipping's always free, and they let you exchange what you get if it doesn't fit. You can pause or cancel your subscription at any time. Right now, I am on their monthly subscription for $60 a month. But they also offer a seasonal subscription where they send you a box of clothing every 3 months for just $75. But regardless of which option you choose, they are giving everyone in our audience $35 off their first box. To redeem your $35 discount, just click the link under this video or go to their website and use the promo code PAKMAN at checkout.